In this fingerstyle guitar lesson, I'm going to teach you how to play Bob Dylan's I Was Young When I Left Home. Now, this was a little known Dylan song. It was actually recorded on a home tape recorder in Minnesota before Dylan was famous. And it wasn't very well known until it was included on the soundtrack to Martin Scorsese's documentary about Dylan, No Direction Home, and then later it was also included on the soundtrack to the recent A Complete Unknown film as well. So it's become a well-known song. It's a lovely little song. It's got a really great piece of guitar playing. Now, to play this song, you're going to have to tune your guitar to open G tuning. So to do that, tune your 6th string down to D, tune your 5th string down to G, leave your 4th string tuned as normally to D, leave your 3rd string tuned as normally to G, leave your 2nd string tuned as normally to B, and tune your top string, your 1st string, down to D. That's open G tuning, and you also need to put a capo on the 1st fret of your guitar. So get your guitar tuned to open G, put a capo on the 1st fret, and then I'll start by demoing for you what you're going to learn. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the Dylan recording of I Was Young When I Left Home was done on a home tape recorder in Minnesota in 1961. And considering it was done on a home tape recorder all those years ago, it's not bad quality at all. However, it is quite difficult to distinctly make out every note that's being played on the guitar. So what I'm going to show you now is not note for note, it's in the spirit of what Dylan plays, and it will get you close enough, I think, to be able to play this song and make it sound reasonably authentic. So here's the demo. Okay, what I've just played there is the introduction to the song. Now, when it comes to the sung parts of the song, you can sing over exactly what I played there. It will work, but can be rather difficult. So you can also simplify what you're playing when you get to the singing part. And I will show you a simplified version of that introduction that you can use to sing over towards the end of the video. But first of all, we're focusing on how you play that introduction. Now, what you're hearing in this introduction is an adapted form of Travis picking. So why is it adapted? In what way is it adapted? Well, normally with Travis picking, you'd hear something similar to this. Now, what's happening there is that the thumb is alternating between bass strings, between the 5th string and the 4th string. So if I take out the fingers and we just listen to the thumb, this is what you'll hear. 5th string, 4th string, 5th string, 4th string, on every beat of the bar, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th, 4th, 5th, 4th, 5th, 4th, 5th, 4th. That's classic Travis picking. Now, in the intro to I Was Young When I Left Home, sometimes Dylan is doing that alternation between the 5th string and the 4th string, but other times he's just playing the 5th string on every beat of the bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I play the intro for you a little bit slowly, listen out, and you'll hear that sometimes he's doing the alternation between bass strings and sometimes he's just playing the 5th string on every beat. Have a listen. Alright, so as you learn this song, just be prepared that sometimes you're going to just play the 5th string on every beat of the bar. Sometimes your thumb is going to alternate between the 5th and the 4th string. I'll give you a template for when you're going to do each of those things, but in the end, you'll fall into the most convenient way of doing it for yourself, which is what I think probably Dylan did as well. So be prepared for that. Okay, let's zoom in now on the fingers and I'll teach you how to play that intro. Okay, so we'll break this intro down phrase by phrase. I'll play you the first phrase slowly and then I'll show you how to play it. Here's the first phrase. Alright, let me show you how to play that next then. Okay, so we're going to start with our middle finger on the 3rd string, 2nd fret, relative to the capo. Now, the capo is at the 1st fret, and all of the fret positions I give you will be relative to the capo. So this is the 2nd fret relative to the capo, all right? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to play the 5th string with our thumb and simultaneously the 3rd string with our index finger, or our pointer in other words. And as we do that, we're going to slide that middle finger up from the 2nd fret to the 4th fret. So we're going to start like this. Then we're going to play the top string with our ring finger. And then we're going to come back to play the 5th string with our thumb again. And then 3rd string with our pointer, 4th string with the thumb, and then top string with the ring finger. So if I play that intro, the very start of the first phrase for you, it's this. So the second half of that opening phrase will sound like this. All right, let's look at how to play that. All right, so in the first half of that phrase, we'd slid our middle finger up to the 3rd string, 4th fret relative to the capo. We're going to keep it there, but we're going to add our index finger, our pointer, onto the 2nd string, 4th fret there. Okay. Now, once you've done that, you're going to play the 5th string with your thumb, and then the top string with your ring finger, then the 4th string with your thumb, and then the 2nd string with your middle finger. By the way, the 2nd string and the top string are playing the same note, but playing those 2 different strings rather than the same string twice gives you a slightly different effect. So you have this. Now back to the 5th string with your thumb, and then 3rd string with your index finger, 5th string with your thumb again, top string with your ring finger, and then 5th string with your thumb again. So if I play that second half of the phrase slowly, you have this. And if we put it together with the first half of that first phrase, this is what the intro will sound like so far. And now we'll move on to the second phrase. All right, then let me play you the second part of the introduction, the second phrase. It'll sound like this. All right, so how do we play that? Well, it starts in a similar way to the first phrase in that you're going to start with your middle finger here on the 3rd string, 2nd fret again. You're going to play the 5th string and the 3rd string together. And as you do that, you're going to slide that middle finger up to the 4th string there. And then you're going to play the top string with your ring finger. Now next you're going to play the 5th string with your thumb, and then you're going to play the 3rd string with your index finger with your pointer. As you do it, you're going to slide your middle finger back down to the 2nd fret there relative to the capo. So we have this. Now, just as you get down to that 2nd fret with your middle finger there, you're going to play the 5th string with your thumb again. So we have this. Now you're going to play the 3rd string open with your index finger, your pointer. Now you're going to play the 5th string with your thumb again. And then you're going to play the 4th string, having put your middle finger on the 4th string, 2nd fret there. So if I play that slowly for you, it's like this. That's the second phrase. All right, let's look at the third phrase next then. Now, I'll put this in context for you by demoing the first 2 phrases, then I'll pause and then I'll play the third phrase so you can see how it fits in, and then I'll show you how to play the third phrase. So here we go. Here's the first 2 phrases. That's where we've got to, and the third phrase is going to be this. Okay, so how do we play that third phrase? Well, first of all, with your left hand, you need to assume this position. So your middle finger there is on the 4th string, 2nd fret, and your index finger or pointer is on the 2nd string, first fret relative to the capo. So that's your left hand position. Now with your right hand, you're going to play the same pattern twice, and then you're going to alter it slightly the third time. So the pattern you're going to play is 5th string with your thumb, followed by top string with your ring finger, 4th string with your thumb, and then 3rd string with your index finger or pointer. And you play that twice. So we have 5, top, 4, 3. Repeat that. 5, top, 4, 3. Now we're going to play a slight variation on that. We're going to play 5, top, 4, and then we're going to play the 2nd string instead of the 3rd string, and you'll use your middle finger for that. Okay, and then we play the 5th string again with your thumb and the top string with your ring finger, and that's the phrase. So let me do that again for you slowly. It's 5, top, 4, 3, 5, top, 4, 3, then 5, top, 4, 2, and then 5, top. Okay. Now, I'll just play the story so far for you again, so you can, just get it in your head how it fits in. Here we go from the beginning, the first 3 phrases. Here we are. And that's where we've got to, and next we'll look at the 4th phrase. Okay, let's look at the 4th phrase next then. Now, right at the beginning of the lesson, I said I'm not going to try and teach you note for note exactly what Dylan played. For a start, it's sometimes difficult to hear on that recording exactly what he's playing. But also, I think his approach was very much that he had a kind of a rough template for what he was going to play, but every time he played a song, he might play it slightly differently. And so we can take the same approach. Now, that's all by way of saying this is one of the interpretive elements of the song for me, this 4th phrase. So let me show you what I play, and then I'll break it down for you. So here's the demo of what I play for that 4th phrase. Okay, let's break that down then. All right, so let's look at how to play that 4th phrase then. Now, the first thing to say is that we're only going to use one left-hand finger, and that's the middle finger. And if it's on a string at all, it'll either be on the 3rd string 2nd fret, or it will be on the 4th string 2nd fret. But we're going to start by playing the 3rd string open with our index finger on our right hand. And what we're going to do is hammer the middle finger on the left hand onto 3rd string 2nd fret relative to the capo. And just as we do that hammer on, as your finger hammers on, you're going to play the 5th string with your thumb. So it will sound like this. And then you're going to play the top string with your ring finger. So the beginning of the phrase is. Now we come back, we play the 5th string with the thumb again. And then the 3rd string with your pointer, with your index finger. So we have now 5th string with the thumb again, and then 3rd string open. So far the phrase is this. Next, we're going to play the 4th string open with our index finger, with our pointer, and we're going to hammer on with our middle finger again, this time to 4th string 2nd fret. And again, as we do that hammer on, as we hit the 4th string 2nd fret with our middle finger on the left hand, we're going to play the 5th string with our thumb on the right hand. So we have that. So far from the top of that phrase, we have. All right. Next, we're going to play the 3rd string with our middle finger, then back to 5th string with the thumb, and then 4th string with the pointer, 5th string with the thumb, and 3rd string with the pointer. So the whole phrase will sound like this. Okay, and that's the 4th phrase. All right, so I'm going to show you how to play the 5th phrase next. But first of all, I'll put it in context for you by playing the first 4 phrases, so the story so far, then I'll pause, then I'll play you the 5th phrase, and then I'll show you how to play that 5th phrase. So here we go, here's the story so far. And here's the 5th phrase. So it's that last little bit we're going to learn now, this part. There is a 6th phrase actually, it's not the very last part, but the last part of what I just played you. So let's look at that next. Okay, so the 5th phrase is much like the start of the song, but not exactly the same. However, it begins in a very similar way. So you're going to start with your middle finger on your left hand on the 3rd string 2nd fret relative to the capo. You're going to play that 3rd string with your index finger. Once you've done that, you're going to slide your middle finger up to the 4th fret, and when your middle finger gets to the 4th fret, you're going to play the 5th string with your thumb. So you're going to have this to start with. Okay, so that's the beginning. And then you're going to play the top string with your ring finger there. So we have, and then back to the 5th string with your thumb again, and then play the 3rd string with your index finger. But as soon as you've played it, you're going to slide it down, slide your middle finger on the left hand down, back 2 frets to where it started, to the 2nd fret on the 3rd string. And when you get to that 2nd fret, you're going to play the 5th string with your thumb again. So it's kind of a mirror image of the opening of the phrase. You've got that. So the phrase to this point is, okay. Now you're going to play the 3rd string again, keeping your middle finger there on the 2nd fret. I've just used my pointer again for this. Then play the 5th string with your thumb. Remove your middle finger from the 3rd string on your left hand and play the 3rd string open with your index finger with your pointer. So the whole phrase is this. Okay, that's the 5th phrase for you. Now the 6th phrase is pretty straightforward, and we'll look at that in just a few moments' time. In just a moment, I'll show you how to play the last phrase of the introduction. But just before I do that, let me say if you've been enjoying this video, please do hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel as well. Now, I know a lot of you like watching videos of complete performances of the song that you're currently learning. So I've recorded a cover video of I Was Young When I Left Home. It's over on my other channel, which is called Peter's Songs. That's where I post covers and also my own original material as well. A lot of it uses the kind of finger picking and guitar techniques that you've seen me teach in the video today. So I'll put a link to that cover in the description. I'll also put a link just up here in the top right of this video as well. It should be appearing about now. So click that link and you can go and watch a complete performance of I Was Young When I Left Home. All right, now let's move on to the last phrase of the introduction. All right, so we've got one phrase left of the intro and it's quite an easy one. But let me just play you the story so far so you get it in context. I'll play you the first 5 phrases and then I'll pause, then I'll play you the 6th one and then I'll explain how to play it. So here we go from the top of the intro. This is what we have. So that's where we got to. And then the 6th phrase is just this. Okay. So that 6th phrase then is pretty straightforward, you know, kind of classic Travis picking, open strings. You don't have to do anything with your left hand. So the strings are all open. You're just going to play 5th string with the thumb and then top string with your ring finger, then 4th string with your thumb, and then 3rd string with your index finger. And you just repeat that 3 or 4 times. Tell you want to start singing, really. Just keep going till you're ready to sing. And that's the end of the introduction. Okay then, so before we leave the subject of this introduction, let me just play it for you all the way through one more time, just so you get everything in context. So this is what it's going to sound like. Okay, and next we'll talk about the different approaches you can take to this song when you're going to sing it. So, you know, what sort of accompaniment can you play on your guitar to sing over? That's the next thing we'll look at. Okay, everybody, well done for getting to this point, because that introduction is not easy to learn. I think it's really difficult to learn. I found it ever so challenging to learn it. So you've done really well to get to this point. What I want to do next is just discuss some different approaches to accompanying yourself while you're singing this song. And I'm not saying I've got the answer to this, by the way, or even the right chords, but I just want to kind of demonstrate 3 different approaches for you. Now, the first thing you can do is you can sing over exactly what you learned to play in the introduction, or perhaps not exactly, but close to it. So let me give you an idea of that. It can sound like this. I was young when I left home, and I've been rambling round. I never wrote a letter to my home, to my home, to my home, Lord, to my home. I never wrote a letter to my home. Okay, went a bit wrong at the end there, but you see how that works. So you can do that. You can play more or less what you played in the introduction. You probably find at times you find you're going your own way, or your fingers are doing their own thing, but you can more or less copy what's in the introduction. Now, obviously, to do that, you need to learn to play that introduction really fluently and be very confident with it. And it can be rather difficult to do, right? So that is one approach, though. Now, another approach is to take the basic chords and to do a sort of an arrangement, really using your thumb and your index finger. I quite like these kind of things and this kind of approach in general. So if you do that, it'll sound rather like this. I was young when I left home, I've been rambling around, and I never wrote a letter to my home, to my home, to my home, Lord, to my home. And I never wrote a letter to my home. Okay, so let's have a little look at that approach then. Now, with my right hand, I'm just basically picking out a bass note, and it's often the 5th string with my thumb, and then I'm using my index finger, my pointer, to do everything else. So it's just... So it's thumb on the 5th string, and then down, up, with your index finger on the 4th, 3rd, 2nd and 1st strings. That's basically what I'm doing there. Now, if you want to take that approach, the first chord is this one, which is an open G. Now, in these open tunings, like this open G tuning, you'll often find it's quite natural, really, to slip into playing chords which are not cowboy chords, as they sometimes call them, not the kind of normal G major, D major, C major, A minor, etc., but chords that are a little bit more ambiguous and subtle than that. So you'll often find there's interesting notes slipping into chords, and you could call them by different names. But if you just play open there, especially from the 5th string down, that's basically a G major. If you play from the 6th string down, that 6th string is tuned to D, so that's a G over D you're playing there. All right. Now the other 2 chords I was using was this one. Now this is a sort of a C chord, and I'm playing from the 5th string down again. But because I'm playing the top string and because that's tuned to D, it's a C chord with a D in it, and obviously C chords don't normally have Ds in it, so it's a kind of C2 now, or C9. Now, we could debate exactly what that chord should be called, because you'll probably find there are some other notes in there, and if you put the 6th string as well, then it's also got a D on the bottom as well as on the top. It's quite nice, isn't it? All right, so that's that one. This is the other chord I was playing, which is a sort of a D chord. Now again, it's not a straight regular D chord, but just call it D. And if you want to, you can have a look at the actual notes and let me know in the comments what you think it should be called. But we'll label that D for the sake of argument. Probably good to include the 6th string actually, because that is tuned to D. So I'm using those 3 chords. Now you can experiment a bit with which chord you use where. What I tend to do is start off with the G chord, which you remember is everything open. I was young when I left home, I've been travelling, then I go to the C chord, round, or rambling round, isn't it? And on never I tend to go to that D chord, never wrote a letter to and then back to the open G, home, simmer on the second half of the verse, starting on the open G. To my home, Lord, to my sea home. And I D, never wrote a, back to C, letter to and then back to the open G, home. By the way, a variation on the open G is you can play the G like that. It's just a different fingering of what's basically the same chord. Okay, so that's what you can do just using your thumb and forefinger. That's probably the most straightforward way to play this song in terms of a singing accompaniment. Or the other thing you can do is you can basically Travis pick it. Okay, now if you Travis pick it, it's going to sound a bit like this. We're playing the same chords, by the way, just different work with the right hand. I was young when I left home, I've been rambling round, I never wrote a letter to my home, to my home, to my home, Lord, to my home. I never wrote a letter to my home. So that little Travis picking pattern I'm doing there is basically just 5th string, top string, 4th string, 3rd string, and I'm just repeating that. When I go to that C chord, sometimes I'm throwing in the 2nd string at the end of that pattern instead of the 3rd string, because that gives you that nice note that we get in the intro, yeah?